Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. And Mark, we're going to move on into our last topic, and we're going to be talking NFL draft here on The Onside Kick. And what we're doing is we know of deals that are going to happen already. If you're listening to this, the deals are all done on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Blog Talk Radio, they are about to get done today as the podcast is posting. But we know of some quarterback situations. We're going to have Brian Hoyer, the Hoya machine, going to the San Francisco 49ers. We've got Mike Glennon said, nope, I do not want to be the highest paid backup in the NFL. Going to take his talents here to the Windy City in Chicago. And the Cleveland Browns look like they are trying to trade the number 12 pick and some others to the New England Patriots for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Also, Tyrod Taylor's going to stay in Buffalo.
And Tyrod's going to stay in Buffalo. So basically, because of everything that's going on with the Glennon in Chicago, Hoyer in San Fran, the Browns probably not going to take a quarterback number one. The main question we are going to try to answer today, Mark, and I'm going to throw it to you like always, is how do these early signings affect the rookie quarterbacks coming into the league?
They basically push everything back, almost guaranteed. There's no more pressure. The Cleveland Browns, let's be real, they were never going to draft a quarterback number one in overall. That was never going to happen. They want people to believe it because they want people to trade with them. But it was never going to actually happen. So that was always out. But San Francisco certainly was going to draft a quarterback. Chicago certainly could have drafted a quarterback.
Now they don't have to.
Chicago 100% does not need to because they're going to pay Mike Glennon big boy money, and they're going to probably get someone in the second.
Like the joke you said before we recorded, pay him big money to be Jay Cutler 2.0.
Pretty much. And we can talk about it someday. But, you know, they're basically, they got their stopgap, so they said we don't need Watson. We don't need Trubisky. We can go ahead and wait for Mahomes or Kaya or one of these guys.
Which also, I forgot to say, it's no longer Mitch, apparently. It's Mitchell.
Michael.
He wants to be called Mitchell.
I'm pretty sure he wants to be called Michael.
Michael Trubisky?
Guys, please call me Michael from now on.
Michael Trubisky is what we'll call him here on the Onside Kick. While Trubisky fans are going to get mad at us.
Because he's got fans?
Earlier in draft season, we got roasted by him. Oh, look at these assholes. Can't even say his effing name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right.
We know it's Trubisky. But
Trubisky.
Now, to me, what this means for Watson and Trubisky is exactly what you said. Niners, I wouldn't waste the second overall pick on that. I'll go defense.
Yeah.
If I'm the Bears, please don't let the Niners take one of my safeties. Oh, wait, they took one? I'll take the other one. That's what the Bears can do. And then for the Titans, who have the Ram pick, and the Jaguars, they don't need quarterbacks. So, to me, the first quarterback at the highest
welcome to New York
is going to the Jets. The Jets, Jets, which would be interesting because it would really show how much they believe in Christian Hackenberg.
Oh, I think we all know they don't.
Notice how I emphasized Hackenberg.
Yeah, I think we all know they don't believe in him. And, you know, you have these type of teams. I mean, not even Buffalo needs a quarterback. So, whoever doesn't get taken, welcome to the fall. Essentially.
Welcome to the Brady Quinn fall, the Johnny Manziel fall.
Yeah, exactly. You could even argue that maybe one of these, you know, maybe the New York Giants don't want to take him either. Maybe they can figure something out that they can get. Now, of course, the Jimmy Garoppolo, supposedly the Cleveland trading number 12 overall for Jimmy, apparently that's not good enough. Is what the rumor is right now. The Patriots are saying that's not enough.
Let me ask this question for you, because to me, in the top 12, we'll cut it off right after the Browns, there are 3 teams, 3 or 4 that I could see drafting quarterbacks potentially. The first one is the Giants at 6. The second one...
The Jets at 6.
The Jets at 6, pardon me. They got New York on the mind, but said the wrong team. The second one, this was my iffy one, the Bills. Maybe they don't believe Tyrod Taylor's the answer. They like the guy that is on the board there, either Trubisky, either Watson. Pick your poison.
But you wouldn't have restructured his deal.
But the thing is, if the right one is still there, maybe they pull the trigger and say, we're going to sit you behind Tyrod and let you develop. Kind of like the one big theory that was here in Chicago before the Mike Glennon, this was late last week, where there were people even saying, no, go ahead and take Trubisky at number 3 because, he was supposed to play this last year in college. You think he's going to develop. Just take him and redshirt him. Treat this year in the NFL like his senior year in college, which my thought is, but how do you know he's going to develop the same that he would actually play in college games? The Bills have that luxury maybe to do that. That's why I said they were that kind of a team.
Yeah.
And then 11 and 12. The Saints could, because they could say, well, how long is Drew Brees going to play? If one of those two are there, fuck it, let's take it. And then the Browns, if they can't work out a deal for Jimmy Garoppolo, the Browns could say, hey, we got Garrett with number 1. Let's take a quarterback here at 12.
The problem I have with something like New Orleans, just to start there, is they're basically admitting defeat next year. They're basically saying, we're not going to be good enough because they have a lot of needs on that defense that need to be addressed.
I expect them to go defense. I just throw it out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. They're a team that they would not be able to do that because they would be admitting defeat.
Because in past mock drafts, and I'm going to say like the Todd McShays, the Mel Kipers, because if you look at mine, I had Deshaun Watson falling all the way to the Texans. I had Trubisky up top, and then boom, Deshaun Watson all the way down there. But if you look at, like I said, the Kipers, the McShays, if that quarterback's there at 11 that usually was not in mock drafts, do you think about pulling that trigger?
Oh, certainly you can think about it.
Other than that, outside the top 12, Houston. Houston's the team. The Houston and maybe Denver. Probably not Denver because they went Paxton Lynch last year. I don't think they'd go double quarterback.
No.
If they're going to get a quarterback, it's going to get Tony Romo through free agency. But if you are a quarterback, it's the Jets, and then that the next for sure team, boom, the Texans, depending on what happens in the Romo.
I think a big thing with this is the Chicago Bears, the San Francisco 49ers, even though these are teams that just got quarterbacks who are bridge quarterbacks. Although I think Schefter said that San Francisco already said like, hey, we're not 100% set on Hoyer being our starting quarterback. We just wanted to sign him.
But right now he's the only quarterback, so he's the starter.
But you have these teams who basically are sitting there kind of going, great. Everybody else looks like they're good too. Maybe I don't want Watson at number 3 overall or number 2 overall, but
I want him in the second round.
Yeah, I want him at 34. I want him at 35.
Well, and even what this means for the rookie quarterbacks is if you are Mitchell Trubisky, I'm not going to get that right, or Deshaun Watson, you can still sit there and say, there's a pretty good chance I'll be drafted in the first round. If you are everyone else, the Mahomes, the Kaisers, you're sitting there. If I'm Mahomes, I'm sitting there going, well, unless I go in the first round and unless the Browns take me to start off the second round, I'm going to go to the 49ers at 2. Because that's what I think with signing Hoyer, that's what the Niners are going to do. We're going to take the BPA guy, probably the best defensive player off the board at 2, a guy that we can use right away. And then when that second pick rolls around to the second round, if our quarterback that is on our board is there, we'll take him there.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Trubisky, even if it's not Watson.
I definitely think the 49ers and Bears, I expect both of them to draft quarterbacks in the second round.
If I'm a Bears fan, though, if you're a Bears fan that likes Mahomes, don't get too attached. Because there's a good chance that he could go right before you guys to the Niners.
Sure. I mean, I don't know how it's going to go. And a lot of times to tell because A.J. McCarron's still in play. He could still get traded to one of these teams.
True.
Especially that I look to the Cleveland Browns for that one. If the Jimmy Garoppolo trade doesn't work out, they're not trading 12. Well, they have Cody Kessler, but they're not going to trade.
I'm saying if they get Jimmy Garoppolo, then you could look to maybe dish out Kessler.
But they're not going to get Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not going to happen.
I'm saying if.
So that's why I'm saying if that trade's not going to happen, well, you can trade a second maybe or a third for A.J. McCarron. I don't know exactly what that asking price is, but there's an option there that people are excited about, at least somewhat excited about. So there's still things out there that can happen. And with that being said, the Houston Texans, I think, are very interesting now with the way these quarterback things are going. Because suddenly they're sitting there going, is Trubisky going to drop to 25? Or Watson or whoever? Or one of these quarterbacks going to drop that far? Maybe the New York Giants, or I'm sorry, you did it to me, Ricky. The New York Jets, maybe the Jets decide to pass because there's a really good option. They want a defensive player. Maybe they pass. So are one of these guys going to drop all the way to a team like Houston that does need a quarterback?
I find it really hard based off of the Hoyer and the Glennon signings because they're not finalized as we're talking about it, but they will be finalized as you guys are listening to this either on Blog Talk Radio or YouTube. Really, to me, it's like I look at the quarterbacks for the Jets. I don't know how if Trubisky and Watson are there at 6. Not that I'm necessarily sold that they should be taken there. I'm still looking at it and going, because of what you have on the roster,
but
I'll draft them at 6.
Maybe they like a guy like Mahomes, and they know he'll be there. Because they know.
Or a guy like Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, if they know that, hey, if we don't take him, Houston's the only other team in the draft right now that's going to take this guy. And we assume that, okay, they can take Watson, then San Francisco can take Trubisky, and Chicago can take Mahomes or Kaiser, and we'll take the other one. Maybe they feel comfortable in that. So it's definitely interesting to me. But I do think that Houston, because of Brock Osweiler, and let's assume they do not get Tony Romo, I do sit there and look at him and say, I kind of feel like they have to draft a quarterback because they gave so much to Brock Osweiler and had it fail. They can't trot him back out on the field next year and expect people to be okay with it. The fans are going to be asking for the heads of everybody in that organization if that's what happens. They kind of have to draft a quarterback, and they can wait until the second round, but everybody's going to be gone by then that's worth taking. Well,
and I'm looking right now at the quarterbacks
at least worth it that could maybe start.
I'm looking at the quarterbacks that were at the combine, and I know that right now I'm looking at the 40-yard dash, and really it's like, well, the quarterback dash numbers aren't the best to go off of, but I'm just looking for names, like some names that it'll be interesting to see if the Jets fall in love with. Joshua Dobbs out of Tennessee. If they'll maybe the two big ones that I look at, maybe like a Davis Webb. How much did we hear about him coming out of the Senior Bowl? Apparently the Bears fell in love with him and Zay Jones, the wide receiver out of East Carolina. And the Bears coming in really liked Nathan Peterman as well out of Pitt. So there could be a situation where the Jets go, hey, let's look at Dobbs, let's look at Webbs, let's look at Peterman, the ones that aren't going to go to the Niners and Bears at the beginning of the second, because then we could take one in the second round. This could be the year that second, third round quarterbacks are king, where the bulk of the quarterbacks are in the second and the third.
And I think that's what a lot of these teams are doing when it comes to potentially Cleveland, Chicago, San Francisco, New York. I think they are looking at now. New York, I think, is sitting there going, we have to play and see what one of these other teams does to see if we should wait back, because it might not be worth it. We might not get our guys. That's the same thing, exactly why I think Houston almost is forced to take one in the first round, because they're definitely not going to get one in the second.
And I'm going to throw this out there. I know this is a year in advance and anything can happen, but I'm just looking. I just pulled up a random mock draft for 2018. This is from Walter Football.
Because they exist already.
They do. But I'm not looking for position. I'm just looking for names. And, of course, the little sticker of anything can happen can come into it. But if in an ideal world, if everything progresses nicely, here are some of the names that we could be looking at next year. Sam Darnold from USC, if he progresses like he's supposed to, can come out. If he has a phenomenal season this year, he'll be the number one pick. He will be the number one pick in the draft. You'll also have Josh Rosen right across the road in L.A. there at UCLA. The next quarterback that they have taken, do they have a third one in the first round? I don't think they do. They don't. But like I'm looking at, I know that the arrest that he recently had could kind of fault a little bit, but you will also have Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma coming out. next year I think is going to be, to me personally, next year is going to be the stronger class for quarterbacks to where we're going, wow, these teams are just going to take quarterbacks this year in the second and third, just because, if they develop. I mean, you've got Josh Allen next year from Wyoming on this mock draft for WalterFootball.com. And do they have one more? I'm just kind of flipping through. They do not. So Allen, Rosen, and Darnold are the ones they have. But like I said, Baker Mayfield's another one that everyone's high on. I think next year's our quarterback year for the first round. This year is not. This is an off year. I'm not saying that they're going to come out and not develop into talents for NFL teams, but draft-wise, this could be the year where teams go, nah, I'm good in the first round. I'm good.
I think we'll probably get 2. We might get 3. It all depends on what Cleveland does.
But 2 is not a lot. The only way we get 3, I think, is if the Patriots pull a Seattle Seahawks from when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where they say, you want to trade up for this guy? Okay, we'll trade up for him.
Like a perfect situation for New York if they do pass, trade up and get their guy before San Francisco and Chicago get theirs. I think we could get 3.
You're talking about the Jets, not the Giants.
Yeah.
Because I keep getting, I got that blue on the mind.
It's true. I think that the way that I see 3 happening, and the reason why I say 2 as well, to point that out, because you said it's not a lot. There's a lot of people who are being like, yeah, there's no quarterbacks taken in the first round. And I think people need to calm their shit.
Hey, I did that for my first mock draft. It could happen.
It could. It's technically possible. Well, anything is possible. Goodell could say that the NFL is over out on stage 2.
It's one of those things where, what did we talk about in the first segment? If Tony Romo goes to Houston, they're not drafting a quarterback.
But hold on, to get to my point, the reason why I mentioned the 2 is because I don't think that there's a chance that we get 0 quarterbacks. Someone's going to take a quarterback.
So there'll be 1 at least.
There has to be at least 1. In New York, it certainly is probably going to be the team that does it. I think Houston's hand is kind of be forced unless they really love Kaya, Dobbs, one of these type of guys.
But what if they sign Romo? Do you think they're content? What if it's like Romo for 2 years?
Then I think
they're content to not take one in the first?
I think they would be okay. I think then they would want to get one of those third-round guys. Hopefully he develops into something. And then, one of these other teams, whether it's San Francisco or Chicago, if they trade back up, then you might get a third one. Certainly. I mean, of course, it's possible that a team like the Saints or something like that tries to do it just to get a backup guy who can develop or something.
This is a big what if, but you know who? If, let's say, no quarterbacks are taken through the top 26 picks in the draft, 2 sleeper teams from 27 to 32 that could take quarterbacks, the Chiefs and the Steelers. Because what did we talk about this offseason?
I'll believe the Steelers.
The Steelers because, it's the big one of, Big Ben mentioned the R word this offseason, the retirement
Once
word.
you start thinking about it.
Once you throw it out there, it's like, okay, you made it real. It
becomes very real, yeah.
You made it real, so we're going to start thinking about that too. But the reason why the Chiefs is, like you said, Alex Smith is a game manager. If they go through another year where they make the playoffs and then it's like you get bounced and you're not scoring, like I said this year, it's not Alex Smith's fault for last year's performance. That's because it's only happened to me. It's only happened that once. Next year, twice, and then if it happens a third, then it's a trend.
And the rumor was a little bit that
pattern trend.
That the Chiefs were not necessarily thrilled about Alex Smith. They were happy with him, but they're not jumping up and down.
Which, if Mitch Trubisky or Deshaun Watson are there at 27, I think they think about it.
Yeah, if these guys are there, I could see it. I see it more with the Steelers first, but the Chiefs certainly. I definitely think that there's still a lot to play out. A.J. McCarron still exists. Is Garoppolo going anywhere? I doubt it. So, yeah, there's still definitely, and Tony Romo, of course, is the other one. There's still some things that need to happen before we can really get a concrete idea of how many quarterbacks are going to be taken in the first round.
And the last thing I kind of wanted to throw out there, I wanted to find the exact article on ESPN, but there was a little headline for the Packers where they kind of threw out Aaron Rodgers might want to kind of just see what free agency is like after seeing all these quarterbacks getting these kind of, not going to say mega deals, but they're getting paydays. They're getting big paydays. I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. If one or both of Trubisky and Watson are there for the Packers, if you are in the war room, do you think about it just because you're afraid if Aaron Rodgers tests free agency, we might lose him?
No, I wouldn't ever think Aaron Rodgers will. I think he would retire a Packer. Without a doubt, I think that unless you're going to pull a Peyton Manning or a Tony Romo, I think if anything, you're afraid that taking one of these quarterbacks will make Aaron Rodgers think that you're pulling a Peyton Manning with Andrew Luck.
Or that you're pulling a Brett Favre.
Yeah, and when it comes to money, I see Aaron Rodgers' face enough. He's doing enough to get paid.
And I mean, he is under contract for not just this season, but
he's got
two
all those
more
sponsorship deals. He's okay.
He's got 3 more years left in it, but I mean, it's one of those things where maybe does he, if the 49ers don't have a quarterback situation figured out by then, does he go play for the team that he grew up being like, man, that's my team?
I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Do you think he's going to retire Packer?
Without doubt.
Like I said, just wanted to throw it out there because I saw it.
I appreciate it.
Any last things with the rookie quarterbacks that you want to throw out there before we wrap up shop?
Only thing involving a quarterback, he's not a rookie, but Mike Glenn, Mike Glennon. I'm okay with it.
You know what? Here's what I want. This is how we're going to end the podcast. Tomorrow on the Behind the Pen, Mike is in Sioux City, Iowa, being able to call some basketball games for the NAIA Women's D2 National Tournament. So he will not be recording the Behind the Pen this week. It'll be myself and Dave. And one thing we're going to talk about is Mike Glennon. And because you are not going to be here,
I will not.
I want you right now, last thing on the podcast, really give your thoughts on the Mike Glennon signing by the Bears, because you are a Bears fan.
I am. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my opinion. I'm okay with it. I mean, honestly, I think it was the best option because you don't want to trade picks because the Chicago Bears are not in a situation to afford the ability to lose picks. So Jimmy Garoppolo was not going to be an option because it's going to be first-round picks. Can't do that. McCarron is second or third-round picks. Ryan Pace is pretty good with those. I would rather have him keep that. And I think that people are also forgetting that a few things with Glennon. One, it was just a couple years ago that teams were trying to trade for Mike Glennon, and the Buccaneers just said no for some reason. And then also, when he did play, he wasn't that great. He was a little below average, but he also had a shitty team around him. So I'm interested. I am not hopeful. I am not optimistic, but I am interested to see if he has the potential to do something. He's a younger version of Jay Cutler. And you know what?
That's what Bears fans want to hear. He's a younger version of the quarterback you hate.
At least we have some upside right now. But here's my thing I want to say about that. I'm glad you bring it up. To all the Chicago Bears fans, if you are going to complain about this, especially when Mike Glennon gets paid and people are like, oh, we should have just kept Cutler. No, all you fuckers are the reason why we signed Glennon because you didn't want to keep Cutler. All you could say nonstop was, we should have gotten rid of the guy. How is he still on this damn team? You guys were all so sick of Jay Cutler, a quarterback who is just completely average, that you forced the hand. You forced the hand. They could have easily stuck with Jay Cutler for another year and gotten Mahomes or something like that to develop for a year. But no, you guys wanted him out, so he's out.
And it's funny because one of the rumors, and this is the last thing I'll say before we wrap up shop, is one of the rumors when it was Jimmy Garoppolo being rumored to be traded here, there were some people saying, yeah, Jimmy doesn't want to come home to Chicago because not only is the media tougher, but it's one of those things of, oh, great, now I'm the hometown kid coming home.
He knows how it is.
And if I Derrick Rose it ain't going to look good. Because Derrick Rose was supposed to win us a title, and how did that happen? Two knee problems. That's what happened.
Yeah, right.
I was promised
and a lot of disappointment.
I was promised 2 Larry O'Brien trophies. Instead, I got 2 busted up knees for Derrick Rose. But this is going to be the end of the onside kick this week. I want to thank Mark. Thank you for coming on and doing what we do each and every week. A little bit later for you guys in the week. If you guys love the podcast, go down and follow us on Twitter. I'm at Ricky Widmer. He's at the with 2 E's Mark Weber. Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. Hit that sub, that like button. But another way you can help support the channel, go to patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. just a little way to help support us, make this a better product for you, because you guys are the reason we make these videos. We talk football, talk basketball, talk about all the sports because of you guys, the viewers and the listeners. Want to thank you guys one more time for giving us your time today. And as always, have a good day, everybody. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the onside kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on, click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.